This is Sybert signing into Kane's Wrath. We are on the map Tournament Dust Bowl and spawning as the green Steel Talons. We do indeed have MasterLeaf in the north side of the map, and as the red Reaper 17, it is BikeRushOwnz. So BikeRushOwnz versus MasterLeaf, a classic finals matchup, because I mean lately, unless it's unleashed, it's going to be BikeRush versus MasterLeaf in the finals of many tournaments. But of course, that entirely depends on who shows up and who's having a good day. But this is the finals of the random only 1 versus 1 tournament from August 18th. GameReplays.org, of course, officially hosting it. But other than that, that is why MasterLeaf is indeed playing Steel Talons. That is why BikeRushOwnz is going to be playing Reaper 17, and the maps are actually preset for the first game as well. Of course, the loser does get to play. So for these random tournaments, I do definitely like them presetting the maps, because sometimes it forces players to play on interesting maps that don't get played quite as much. MasterLeaf going to be grabbing one of the towers, and BikeRushOwnz doesn't even want to chance it. He's like, you know what, I've got slow engineers. There's no point in me going for the towers and then most likely not being able to get them, especially if my opponent ends up being pretty much any faction. I'm not going to get him. I don't think BikeRushOwnz just yet knows that MasterLeaf is Steel Talons. He may have seen the combat engineer, but other than that, he knows he's definitely against GDI. But as you can see, that buzzer squad right there definitely spotting those heavy harvesters. And now with the shielded harvesters, MasterLeaf definitely knows he's up against Reaper 17. Going to be adding on his second refinery right there, quite close, but I mean, not that big of a deal at all. It's not like you're going to be able to just take down one of those refineries super easily, but BikeRush might just be going for an additional harvester, setting himself up for a nice macro game. It looks like MasterLeaf is going to be doing that. 4 harvesters currently on the field. Should be 4 on the field as well. No, not quite. Looks like it is going to be something else. He doesn't have tech, so it's not like it's going to be a dev tank. Just a little bit later of a 4th harvester for BikeRushOwnz. Not too big of a deal there. Expansion timings are pretty much exactly the same. There's that 5:2 ratio for pretty much optimal efficiency that you do indeed want. And so MasterLeaf and BikeRushOwnz mirror builds pretty much, and there is the 5th harvester for BikeRushOwnz. The 6th one may be added on. Some players like to get the 6th for the transfer over to the expansion immediately. Some players do like to wait just a moment. MasterLeaf, as you can see, sends his over, and fortunately for him, oh, this could be very dangerous, as we do have an engineer here from BikeRushOwnz. He's going to be trying to sneak one in, and the MCV is a little bit far. However, there is no base defenses queued up, which means that if the second War Factory gets placed here, or if BikeRushOwnz is feeling a little bit cheeky, he could grab the MCV without too much trouble, and there's the transfer there. So it's almost exactly the same from both of these players, transferring another harvester over. Looks like BikeRush is going to be going for that refinery. However, MasterLeaf, he does have a watchtower queued. He gets the kill. Oh, he should. Yes, he does get the kill right there. Sold off the watchtower, going for that rifleman squad. Definitely a solid choice there. Going to be able to snipe down that engineer without any problems at all. BikeRush's little plot has been thwarted. It is going to be the Pitbull follow-up, followed by, powered down for elites a little bit there. So BikeRushOwnz could have been dropping down his tech. No, it was an extra refinery. That is what he wanted to get. However, from now on, he should be just pumping out straight-up units. It is going to be the first Shardwalker out on the field. I would be surprised if he continued to stick with those Shardwalkers. But, I mean, realistically, he should be going for some tech relatively soon here. A couple of Shardwalkers here and there might actually follow it up with an additional Harvester. There's the scan, which ordinarily, well, it's going to reveal, yes, 2 refineries, 4 Harvesters. So a pretty macro game from BikeRushOwnz. And MasterLeaf can kind of assume, hey, you know what? He's got 4 and 2 on his expansion. He's probably just playing straight up. However, a couple of Shardwalkers here. They will be able to hold off some of these Pitbulls at least. The 3rd Shardwalker rolling up. However, MasterLeaf going to be pulling back just a little bit there. A little bit of micro going to be saving his Pitbulls. However, the Shardwalkers do move quite quickly. He's going to be forced to split his Pitbulls. As you can see, really nice control there. Going to be splitting up his forces. We'll have to see if it ends up working out for him. MasterLeaf may actually be losing one of these Pitbulls. BikeRushOwnz not he's not focus firing as he should, but instead, so MasterLeaf is going to be able to pull away without too many troubles. However, there is going to be the stasis field on top of that airfield. It gets spotted immediately by that lightning spike, and also the command post has been spotted as well. It is going to be stasis chamber and nerve center, so we could be seeing, wait, is he started? He doesn't have an, nope, no, wait a second, I was thinking advanced articulators. Between MasterLeaf and BikeRushOwnz, ordinarily I would expect MasterLeaf to be the one playing Traveler 59, but instead BikeRushOwnz playing Reaper 17. Gotta get that into my head. We do have 4 Titans now out on the field. The Pitbulls have been pulled off the line, but Disintegrators, oh, the Bloodhounds being called in, or is it called something else for Steel Talons? But it is going to be claiming one of the Pitbulls and one of the Wolverines too. Everything does get cleaned up completely there. A really nice pickup for BikeRushOwnz. That's like $3.5 or $4 grand that MasterLeaf just essentially threw away, that BikeRush just picked up. That was really nice. Shard Walker Disintegrator army is going to be pretty solid here. Not going to be going for any sort of tech. Oh no, he's going for the technology assembler. Could be going for a strong Reaper tripod push, which Reaper tripods, of course, really solid in any matchup. However, a couple of Wolverines on the front line might be able to pick off a couple of Disintegrator squads. Look like they may have already done just that. However, BikeRushOwnz is going to be slowly leeching that field. Tiberium harvesting appears to be pretty similar, so economically these players appear to be pretty much exactly even. The Hammerheads could be doing a lot of damage, Hammerheads singular rather, but a nice concave here for MasterLeaf. We'll have to see, is he going to be able to clean up any more of these units? The Titans, are they actually going to be focus firing properly? They're going for the crushes. 3 of them do get crushed immediately. However, with the Wolverines in support, they're doing a fair amount of damage. Does he actually have AP ammo? Yes, he does indeed, which means those Wolverines are going to be pretty effective against pretty much anything, which is really great for MasterLeaf. However, BikeRushOwnz throwing down the phase field. He will be able to keep his harvesters alive, but it's not going to be stopping his production from possibly getting eliminated, or even just the refineries getting eliminated. The Reaper tripods now out on the field. However, there's only currently 1. There's the engineer into that extractor holding these units here. He needs to hold them here until this Reaper tripod gets there, but is it going to be enough? The expand on the left side for MasterLeaf going to be ensuring that he's got a backup plan if this attack doesn't quite hold. However, Portal's going to be blocking off this storm column, doing huge amounts of damage, and now there's 2 Reaper tripods getting the flank, and MasterLeaf is just firing on the extractor. He does take it down, but at what cost? He's going to be losing a couple of more Titans for sure. A 3rd Titan will definitely go down, and a 4th will likely fall in retreat. But did he do enough damage? He took down 2 of the refineries, forced a couple of engineers, forcing more and more money out of BikeRush. However, at the same time, BikeRush has harvested a significant portion of this field, and since he is Scrin, he doesn't have to worry about Tiberium silos or anything like this. However, Railgun's just now finishing. MasterLeaf maybe should have held off on that attack. Does he? He is indeed getting at least 2. 3 Mammoth tanks are currently out on the field. A 4th one right there. Transferring harvesters, lots of them, selling off refineries, pretty good. Might need to just sell off 1 more over here, get an extra $500. Going to be grouping that Titan up. However, BikeRush has held the offensive from MasterLeaf, and now he should be establishing an additional refinery. Might be looking to sell off that storm column. I'm not sure if he actually has enough money. He's probably got plenty of money though, because he will be able to just bank it. Yeah, he's sitting on $4 grand, while MasterLeaf, on the other hand, is constantly dropping down 2 refineries. And now MasterLeaf looks like he's going to be switching his entire offensive. He can barely, no, not really. Never mind. If he wants to keep up the Mammoth tanks, he's going to have to protect that tech center. So it's not like he can just sack that base and use it as a buffer zone for his expansion. His tech is placed up there. He's reset to tier 1, which he could start rebuilding. But still, if he goes on the offensive over here and leaves his flank exposed, BikeRush could really punish that. But at the same time, MasterLeaf, he's going to have a hard time cracking BikeRush, and BikeRush equally will have a very difficult time. We're going to be looking for some sort of sneaky tactics from one of these players. What exactly that means, we'll have to see, but something to get around the front side, because neither player wants to just attack directly into Railgun Mammoth tanks. MasterLeaf similarly doesn't want to attack directly into the might of the Reaper tripods, especially if they're charged up on Tiberium, and adding on a couple of Mechapedes going to be a great choice as well. It will be Disc Mechapedes, which will give them great anti-air, and also just add plenty of damage output for him in general. Orca is going to be coming in, doing a little bit of damage to the extractor. They, unfortunately, for MasterLeaf, do not catch a harvester there. But the Rift Generator going down for BikeRushOwnz, that's his answer. But he's going to have to hold around for 7 minutes until he's ready to fire it off. And by then, this game might actually be over. So BikeRushOwnz, MasterLeaf, both starting out with that low aggression opening, and then just following it up. They were like, hey, we're going to put some hurt on. MasterLeaf was defeated, kind of. He did a fair amount of damage and essentially reset this expansion, but BikeRush was able to hold in at the same time. He didn't lose his tech, but there goes the tech. Firehawks on the field, 4 of them just stratofightering. I'm guessing that's what just happened as he flies all the way across the map and just drops that technology assembler. That was a nice pickup, but there's already so many Reaper tripods on the field. Does that actually make a difference? BikeRushOwnz is going to go ahead and be able to rebuild that without too much trouble. As you can see, he's throwing down plasma missile batteries. He's got the engineer very close and even got a buzzer hive or a buzzer squad as well. There's the scan from MasterLeaf revealing everything that is here. He's going to see the extractors, they have been rebuilt, and now the Tiberium is pretty much completely off the map. A very macro-oriented game here, as neither player is really wanting to engage too much. And this could be another really nice pickup for BikeRushOwnz. He's going to be heading in with his Mechapedes, might be going for the advanced power plant. This refinery isn't really doing a whole lot. However, the Firehawks are heading out as well. Could be going for a strike on, well, actually, yes, it's definitely going to be a strike on the Rift Generator, but the discs are going to be rolling in. They snipe down one of the Hammerheads. However, here comes the Orca strike. Is it going to be foretelling? He does snipe down the Engineer. Is it going to be foretelling the Firehawks? Is BikeRushOwnz going to be prepared? We'll have to see. The Firehawks are going to be coming in. They go for the technology assembler, but he gets the heal. Really great move there by BikeRush. That engineer definitely paying for itself, saving that technology assembler. However, the Firehawks, or the Hammerheads rather, have gone down, and now the Firehawks are going to be getting pulled off the line, one of them nearly getting eliminated there. However, that Mechapede is just camping on top of this airfield, and there isn't a whole lot that MasterLeaf can do. He has to land his... Oh, the Railgun Mammoth Tank's rolling up at just the right time. One more Hammerhead does go down. Really nice pickups here for BikeRushOwnz, and another Firehawk. 3 Firehawks do go down on the deck. They are getting eliminated. While on home base, that's almost like cheating, and then suddenly 3 of the Mammoth Tanks may very well be getting eliminated, but Shockwave Artillery nullifies all of these Reaper tripods. BikeRushOwnz needs to move in, he needs to engage, and he needs to take down these Mammoth Tanks, but one of them is caught just on the edge there. I don't know if that one can actually move. However, MasterLeaf could be getting out of here. He needs to pull back, but he doesn't have enough muscle. He may just be forced to commit here, as 2 of the Mammoth Tanks do go down. The other ones are going to be getting pulled back. However, the Disintegrators on the front lines, making things difficult, adding extra damage output to this Scrin army, and it's just power overwhelming from BikeRushOwnz. Railguns are good, but they're not quite good enough. A couple of more Mammoth Tanks could be rolling up, but it's just constant reinforcements and repairs from the repair drones for BikeRushOwnz, and he's overwhelming all of the Mammoth Tanks. MasterLeaf's army getting completely crushed there on the front lines, and Mammoth Tanks do not drop husks, but Reaper tripods sure indeed do. MasterLeaf has been defeated, that army going down, and that was his last chance. BikeRushOwnz not even getting a chance to grab those husks. He played it slow, and it ended up working out for him exactly as he wanted. As you can see, pretty even economic game. BikeRushOwnz behind a little bit, but he made up for it in the second half of that game. Overall, only about 25,000 credits of difference, which is pretty fair. That's about 2,000 credits per minute of difference. However, as you can see, most of that was that second half of the game, so BikeRushOwnz double pumping those Reaper tripods for at least a little bit there. Even though the Firehawks were doing huge amounts of damage, MasterLeaf simply was not able to break the front. It was like, that was a nice delay, but it wasn't hurting the army. It was just damage to tech, and by that point, BikeRushOwnz already had a significant amount of Reaper tripods, and MasterLeaf just didn't have a good angle to engage. Defender's advantage in that situation where you don't do something sneaky and circumvent the defenses is very, very dangerous. Didn't work out for MasterLeaf, but this is a best-of-5 series. We've got more games coming. BikeRushOwnz versus MasterLeaf Game 2 is coming right up, which is on Tournament Rift, and we do have BikeRushOwnz playing as the red Zocom on the left side, and his opponent is going to be as the blue Zocom, that's right, Zocom Mirror, MasterLeaf. So it is Game 2, and of course, I mean, you guys should know what exactly is going on, best of 5 series, but since it's random only, we had the 1 in 9 chance, or 1 in something chance, like 1 in 81 of getting a mirror matchup. And it seems that mirror matchups happen more often than you would think. Like, I think technically, someone can back me up on the math or tell me that I'm wrong, but I believe it's a 1 in 81 chance, because there's 9 factions and sub-factions in total, so you have a 1 in 9 chance twice, 1 in 81 to get a mirror matchup, but it seems like it happens a lot. There's the refineries getting posted for both players at almost exactly the same time. Why is that important? Well, because in mirror matchups, everything is exactly the same, even more so than just in, like, GDI versus Zocom, even more so than in sub-faction versus other sub-faction matchup. But it's just so similar that the difference can be in just a matter of moments, and it's like one small difference early on can snowball, or you can end up making a mistake later on that makes up for it. It is going to be a pit bull for MasterLeaf, and it looks like it is going to be a harvester for BikeRushOwnz. We'll have to see if I could rotate instead of zoom. That would be pretty great, but I messed that up, and BikeRushOwnz is going to be going for economy, and I definitely do agree with that. However, the economy isn't too much further behind. I mean, it's not like MasterLeaf has now just lost the game and it's over and just GG, go home, but at the same time, BikeRushOwnz is going to be a little bit ahead in the end. He is going for just macro games today. However, his MCV will be getting caught out. Will he be able to deploy? No, MasterLeaf is staying right on top of that MCV with that pitbull. That's exactly what he needs to do, and he just needs to be super, super annoying. Really nice stop commands there, and playing with the pathing there is exactly what MasterLeaf should be doing, exactly what he is doing, and putting a little bit of hurt on that MCV doesn't hurt either. As you can see, he's just lining it up so many times, just delaying that expansion time and time and time again. And as you can see, MasterLeaf is going to be going for his own expansion, and he's now got that MCV into that lower damage mode. BikeRushOwnz taking some serious damage here, and he just cannot get clearance to it. Nope, he can get clearance to set up. Well, I didn't think he was actually going to be able to do that, but he definitely was. So BikeRushOwnz able to deploy his MCV and do some damage to this power plant on top of that. Does he have 2 squads? He does indeed have 2 squads in there, doing a fair amount of damage to that power plant. A surprising amount of damage, actually, forcing MasterLeaf to drop down a watchtower there. His MCV has been deployed as well. However, we do now have the engineer going to be heading out to... No, it is going to be just one engineer right now. But, oh, MasterLeaf might be getting the snipe on that engineer. Tries to focus fire, ends up missing it just a little bit. But it ended up paying off for BikeRushOwnz because he was able to snipe it down that pitbull, and he is going to be going for the southern spikes, which will be a nice pickup again for BikeRushOwnz. And the spikes definitely can be a snowball. Not necessarily will, but they definitely can be a snowball. A little bit of harvester derping out there for BikeRushOwnz. But other than that, he's looking for himself a macro game. He's looking to set himself up for the long haul. Forcing those repairs by MasterLeaf is, again, just a little thing that could add up. Those repairs by themselves definitely not going to be winning. I don't know if selling off... No, I guess selling off that watchtower was a well-timed move, but BikeRushOwnz going to be getting the surprise attack there a little bit, just because he's got 2 squads versus the one of MasterLeaf. And MasterLeaf, if he does nothing about these towers, this could be a really big deal for BikeRushOwnz. Getting the snipe on one of those squads there. MasterLeaf doesn't want to be losing extra squads and going for the blue. Securing this blue Tiberium is huge for BikeRushOwnz. So it's just these little things here that any one of them by themselves would not be making the difference at all. APC heading out, could be going out just to snipe down any squads and get a scout off himself. But BikeRushOwnz is going to be going up against MasterLeaf, who did pretty well in the previous game, but with this blue Tiberium, with the southern spikes, with the slightly faster economy, a little bit of extra damage output by BikeRushOwnz. All of these things in combination could end up making a difference, but MasterLeaf is not out of it yet, and with these pit bulls coming in here, he could certainly end up evening up the score. We'll have to see if he gets the snipe on any of the harvesters. The second MCV is definitely out. However, the airfield is also out for both of these players. I do believe both of these players. However, the Watchtower definitely saving that MCV, going to be forcing away all of these pit bulls. They will get the kill on one of the Harvester's Predator tanks, going to be the transition. MasterLeaf needs to go ahead and move them. Orca strikes crossing across the map, and these pit bulls suddenly have nowhere to run. Watchtowers getting thrown down all over the place. Perimeter of Bike Rush's base going to be holding off these pit bulls, forcing them to run around and around. Without AP ammo, they won't be doing too much damage. 3 MCVs on the field for BikeRushOwnz, throwing down his tech. He is going to be able to put down 3 base defenses at a time, or I guess he can set up shop at 2 Tiberium fields while keeping this MCV on. Oh, all of the pit bulls do go down. AP ammo Watchtowers are now up. MasterLeaf taking a big hit there. BikeRushOwnz just isn't taking damage, and MasterLeaf isn't really dealing damage. He's just simply taking damage, but tech is up. The laser fence on that airfield going to be protecting against the engineer that doesn't actually exist. That's just a scouting APC. However, the APC's out in front, going to be tanking some of the damage, but the tanks are what he wants to be tanking the damage from those rocket squads. The APC is going to be cleaning up all of the infantry quite nicely, and this Harvester is going to be getting eliminated. A nice APC Predator tank force here, but BikeRushOwnz, he's up to that tier 3. He can throw down 3 sonic emitters at a time if need be, and that is not a good place to be in. However, Firehawks are now out on the field. Upgrades fairly matched, although no, maybe not. BikeRushOwnz going to be heading out with his Firehawks, dropping the bombs on, what is it? I thought it was definitely going to be going. No, it's actually missiles getting dropped in here. Really nice Orca distraction there for MasterLeaf, going to be picking off a couple of those Firehawks. It's not bombs at all, it is missiles. Going to be getting his Firehawks off of the field. Completely whiffs that Orca strike. Really nice control there from MasterLeaf, but this army over here, is he going to be able to do any damage with it? We'll have to see. He's going to be reverse moving right into some rockets. That's not going to be helping his case, but as long as he doesn't lose any units here, he does lose 2 APCs there. One of them with a rifleman squad, but 3 sonic emitters, because suddenly all on the field at the same time. They all get thrown down, and power plants boxing in these APCs. This is crazy out of BikeRushOwnz. One of the Predator tanks getting caught. Unfortunately, another one does get eliminated there. But BikeRushOwnz, with the crazy amounts of these base defenses, actually making it work. I think those were maybe Firehawks going down. He's got his Reclamator hub on the field. The Marv is going to be built, most likely, but MasterLeaf has already got it on the field. However, with this expansion, BikeRushOwnz is going to be sitting pretty. The rest of that attacking force gets cleaned up. BikeRushOwnz playing defensive until he has such an advantage that he's just going to be steamrolling MasterLeaf. It's effectively what happened last game. He's already got that blue Tiberium. He's already got the middle field, and the Marv is out on the field. A Marv without support. Oh, a couple of Zone Raiders going to be moving in, and a Rig going to be following it up. Is a really powerful attack force. But BikeRushOwnz defenders advantage, and on top of that, he's going to have Firehawks, which means he should be able to drop that Rig relatively quickly. He still holds those Southern Spikes, and the Grenadier is going to be cleaning out these squads. However, he's not going to be able to deal with the ones that aren't in buildings very well. Oh, I thought that was actually 2 rigs, but no, it is going to be Zone Trooper drop pods, or Zone Raider drop pods, rather. Missiles forcing the split of all of these Firehawks, and the Firehawks will escape, 3 of them at least. 1 Harvester getting cleaned up there, but the Shockwave Artillery, who was it for? BikeRushOwnz, will he be getting the hits? No, MasterLeaf will definitely be getting Orbital Bombardment as well, firing down from on high. Going to be doing huge amounts of damage to the rear armor of BikeRush's. Oh, never mind, because there is the triple sonic emitter and the counter shockwave artillery. Sonic emitters dropping right down on top of that Marv, and now suddenly it's BikeRushOwnz who's almost insta-killing MasterLeaf's Marv. I thought MasterLeaf was going to be cleaning up the Marv of BikeRushOwnz, but now it is the exact opposite, as 3 sonic emitters winning the day for BikeRushOwnz, and suddenly MasterLeaf has been defeated, dropping game number 2 down in those last few seconds. Absolutely crazy there for MasterLeaf. A mirror matchup in this random tournament, and then suddenly MasterLeaf just getting dropped right at the end there. That shockwave artillery followed by the triple sonic emitter, not something you see pretty much at all, but as you can see, BikeRushOwnz pretty even economically, and then suddenly he just started shooting ahead, blue tib, those spikes on the bottom, and then of course that third base being added on as well. MasterLeaf just could not compete in that respect. Not only about 18,000 credits of difference, but again, 9.5 minute game. BikeRushOwnz playing the defensive game, playing the macro game. This is absolutely like the exact opposite of Cheese. He's not going for any sort of MCV cells. He's just playing straight macro, playing defensive, and saying, you know what? I'm not leaving my base until you come to me. So just come, try to, hit me with your best shot. And it's just simply not working out for MasterLeaf. He's kind of banging his head up against the wall. He needs to think of something outside of the box. But, I mean, he's not exactly playing Traveler 59. It's a little bit of a different ball game. But game number 3 could be changing everything, or BikeRushOwnz might make this a 3-0 sweep. We'll have to see game number 3 coming right up. Which takes us to tournament decision, and we have MasterLeaf spawning as the purple GDI in the southwest versus in the northeast. BikeRushOwnz playing as the red Steel Talons. It is going to be Steel Talons versus GDI. And of course, this is tournament decision where you do spawn with a pretty nice large Tiberium field. Lots of green Tiberium to be had. And there is the first engineer going to be heading out for BikeRush, and probably the same thing for MasterLeaf as well. Although, yep, wait a second, where's MasterLeaf? So he actually went for the dual barracks opener, a slight differentiation from BikeRushOwnz, who's deciding, interestingly enough, quite interesting indeed. I'm curious to what he's going to be doing with this barracks. As you can see, he decided to power it down instead of selling it. Very deliberate there. And he is going to be claiming the middle of the map and also looking to probably establish himself in the south. No, he's just going to be grabbing his bunker. And MasterLeaf is going to be grabbing both of his spikes just like you would imagine, or he should be. Yep, there's the second engineer there. And BikeRushOwnz is most likely going to be doing the exact same thing, although his engineer might actually be, oh no, never mind, because his engineer is going to be going for the tower. He's going to be getting one of the defensive towers quite nicely there. So a little bit of a difference there by BikeRushOwnz. That could be why he decided to keep that barracks. Nope, never mind. He might be going... What in the world is he going for exactly? Is it going to be dual airfield? Yes, it indeed is. MCV cell. So BikeRushOwnz could not resist the MCV cell. Going to be probably, I'm assuming, dual airfield Orca. As you can see, one Orca being added on right there. And MasterLeaf, if he doesn't get eyes on this immediately, will not have enough to keep a hold of it. But as you can see, BikeRushOwnz grabbing that defensive tower in the middle, meaning the ground forces going through the middle of the map are going to be heavily damaged before they reach his base. He's already got 4 Orcas out on the field. The remainder will be added on pretty quickly here, and he's got enough to do some serious damage. A 5th one could be moved out as well, and then the 6th and 7th may be following it up pretty shortly here, but the engineer going to be heading out. And I'm not sure. The Pitbull does definitely spot this, so he sees that it is going to be indeed some crazy... Oh, MasterLeaf, it may be too late. He has no anti-air, and one Harvester does go down for sure. As the frames suddenly hit the ground, one Pitbull is out, but the stacking simply is not happening. 2 Harvesters, a 3rd one does get picked off there. Devastating damage there for BikeRushOwnz, done by BikeRushOwnz, rather. Just devastating, picking off 3 Harvesters this early. However, the MCV cell out of MasterLeaf, the Orca Strike coming in will completely whiff. Nothing going to be happening there. BikeRushOwnz, if he loses too many more of these Orcas, will definitely be in a rough spot, because he's only got that 1 Harvester. He's got no War Factory and no MCV. But as long as he's not allowing any of the ground forces to really make it through the middle of the map, he kind of just has that area on lockdown, and he doesn't have a whole lot of threat coming from the ground forces. So it's 1 Harvester versus 1 Harvester, Pitbulls versus Orcas, and we'll have to see who is going to be the one coming out ahead. It's Hammerheads, though, loaded up with an engineer. BikeRushOwnz looking to either grab a spike or grab something else. However, the engineer could be getting picked off. This is, I believe, the engineer from the MCV, and we'll have to see where in the world did that Hammerhead go. Right through the middle of the map. BikeRushOwnz could be looking to pick up this tower, especially if he knows that the MCV was indeed sold off. There goes one more of the Harvesters, so no Harvesters are currently on the field for MasterLeaf. Lots of damage there, and if BikeRushOwnz picks up one of the spikes, oh, that could be huge. But the Pitbulls are currently out of position. That Hammerhead is going to have free reign here. There's no APC just yet. And with this refinery going down, that will be pretty much it. MasterLeaf doesn't get the sell-off, but he does pick up the kill on the engineer there. The Pitbulls and the couple of APCs heading through the middle of the map. They might be stopping to pick off a spike, but that would probably be a big mistake. The barracks was kept around for this exact idea. BikeRushOwnz hardly even has to worry about dropping this game because he's got plenty to go, whereas MasterLeaf, if he makes any more mistakes, he will be out of this game. Running Pitbulls into the line of fire. These rockets, only one does get off. Really nice awareness there by MasterLeaf. However, without APM, these APCs will just be getting torn up, especially Foxhole could actually eject that rifleman squad right out of there and instead throw in some missile squads. I do not know what is up with the frame rate, as it's just hitting at absolutely random times. The Orca is going to be coming in. They do pick off one of the Pitbulls. However, 2 Orcas do go down. A nice pickup there, and the squads are getting eliminated. Those APCs doing pretty solid damage there. However, the Orcas are... Oh, one more APC does get eliminated, which means absolutely these infantry will be able to hold the line without any problem at all. MasterLeaf could actually sell off one of these power plants. I don't know if it would give him enough money to actually build anything else, but he has to be oh so careful. BikeRushOwnz is the one with actual income. MasterLeaf, on the other hand, just has that one spike. BikeRushOwnz has 3 spikes, which is quite a bit more Tiberium per second than MasterLeaf does have. He's slowly just ticking away, trying to get possibly an MCV, although he may just be going for more damage output. Another... Oh, MasterLeaf has been defeated. Could be going for another APC, or he could be going to leave the game. He's like, you know what, this game is dumb. This match is over. A dual airfield Orca rush really working out for BikeRushOwnz. MasterLeaf never got inside of BikeRush's base until it was too late. The Pitbull was like rolling into BikeRush's base at about the time that the Orcas were swinging on out. But of course, BikeRush was thinking about that very clearly there, as he was deciding to grab the tower in the middle and then also make sure that he's got the middle buildings locked down. BikeRushOwnz taking the Kane's Wrath, really random 1 versus 1 tournament. And no prize, really. Technically, there was a prize, but it was a random drawing-based prize, so not that big of a deal at all. However, so far, BikeRushOwnz claiming another win in a tournament. So, hats off to him. MasterLeaf, better luck next time. But the first 2 games, really solid games from both players. Really competent games overall. And then that third game, BikeRushOwnz just looking to pick up a game in 5.5 minutes. But that will do it. I hope you enjoyed these games. A little bit fun, a little bit wonky, but overall solid games. And of course, thank you very much for watching. This is Sybert, signing out.